What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of the White Sox franchise. And if you missed last episode, I feel like I should run down what is being done today because the rest of the season is being done today. MLB 26 is coming out too soon now for how inconsistent I've been posting this series. And I more want to get deep into the future and see if what I built can turn into anything. So today's episode is going to be the rest of season 2. We're going to simulate the whole year. I don't really want to drag it out. Like, I don't want these season simulations to take super long to do, but I also don't just want to, like breeze through to the end or anything like that. We're still going to be controlling the team throughout the year. I'm still going to be doing my scouting. We're going to do the draft, all that sorts of stuff. Maybe, depending on where we might find ourselves throughout the season, I might hop in and do a little bit of gameplay. But yeah, then I guess I forgot to mention this part too. But then next episode will be year 3. The episode after that, year 4, the episode after that, year 5, and then after year 5, I'm just gonna release any control. We're just purely gonna simulate maybe like 10 or so more years into the future. But for now, we have year 2 to focus on, and we've actually gotten ourselves off to a really nice start in last episode. We won on opening day, and now we're 8-4 through our first 12 games. We've got the lead in the division. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how I want to handle the simulating here, just because I know, at least for me, I'm gonna have to stop every week to handle the scouting, so maybe I just kind of sim a week at a time. All right, we lost the Detroit series, so now that's back-to-back series losses. Heading to Toronto now, win game 1. We're actually destroying the Toronto pitching here. 11-4, 12-0, 3-1, a series sweep. Okay, we got a little big league injury here that we actually have to do something about. Vargas pulled his shoulder. You don't hear that too often, I feel like. So somebody's got to be coming up to replace him. All right, well, Corey Julks was kind of our default guy to call up in this situation last season. I think he's going to stay in that role here at a 73 overall. I mean, that's just hilarious. A dislocated ankle, playing 1 game in the MLB after getting called up, and he's going to be out for the year. Oh my God, and Kyle Teal? Okay. So I made the decision to increase the injury sliders. I did that last episode. I only bumped it up by 1 notch. Look at what's happening. So we'll put Teal on the 10-day. Oh, we're getting somebody back because Hunter Harvey was injured last episode. I guess we auto-utilize him, and then I'll go handle some things. Winning streak's alive, though. That's 5 in a row. Look at Drew Thorpe, too. He's got a 1.93 ERA so far. All right, well, first, let's call Bobby Dahlbeck up to now replace Corey Julks, who was replacing Miguel Vargas. But now I'm going to have to make a decision on what to do about Kyle Teal. He was actually, dang, this sucks. He was doing so good to start this season. 339 average. He had it figured out. I mean, the thing is, right now, we don't have any other catchers on the 40-man roster. Honestly, what I wish would happen, and I don't trust the game enough to know to do this, but Samuel Basallo still has the secondary position of catcher. I would love to be able to just like put Caro as the starting everyday catcher, but if he needs a break, Basallo can just move to catcher for that day, and then somebody else can play first base. But oh my God, look at Samuel Basallo. He's got 10 homers already in 19 games. 355 average, 829, 1253 OPS. I guess technically I could still kind of not have to bring up a catcher and use Samuel Basallo as a catcher. I would just have to make him the starting catcher against righties. Sosa played first base a decent amount for the Sox. I really should have put first base as a secondary for him anyway. I might do that now. Then I can start Sosa at first base. And then while Teal's out, Basallo's just going to go back to his roots of being a catcher. Looks like we probably need to bring up an outfielder then. That would be what makes sense. And that'll just be Oscar Colas. That makes the most sense for now. All right, I had to do a bunch more shuffling, but that also led to already moving Boone O'Rourke up from AA to AAA. That was our first overall pick. I mean, he probably could have started in AAA anyway, but I wanted to start him in AA in his first big league experience, and he was tearing it up. Okay, and also our discovery guy came in with some crazy pulls because he discovered 3 guys, 1 in each outfield position. This dude we now have ranked 5, so we'll be scouting him fully for sure. And then this dude we have ranked 4. 2 more games in, now Nick Gordon's gone for at least a month. Yeah, we are still on our winning streak though, so we keep winning even with all these injuries. All right, well, honestly, at this point, we don't have any position players left on the 40-man roster that aren't in the MLB. And like, yeah, I definitely could add some or one. We have space, but I was looking at free agents, and I might just sign a free agent here. Ildemaro Vargas is a 74 overall, but he's got pretty solid contact, decent clutch, really good vision, and he's solid in the field. He can play all over the infield, a little bit of left. He wants a longer contract, so I don't really want to give him a longer contract. We might just have to give him more money then. The 3.9 he's looking for, nope, still doesn't want that. What if we bump it up 4.1? Still doesn't want that. I'd rather give him more money than keeping him around for extra years. So we'll just fill up that interest meter at 4.5 million. He still okay, 5 million. He really wants the time. All right, then. What if we give him a second year? Let's see here. 2 years, getting it just into the green interest. Now he wants more money. Just give him what he's looking for. 2 years, 4.4 mil a year. He'll sign it. All right. Maybe that wasn't the best move, to be totally honest. He also apparently was signed to a minor league contract. He didn't even get signed to the 40-man roster. But no, we want him on the MLB team right away. My God, now we have another injury. This one's in the minors, though, but it's a name. Moises Ballesteros, another catcher going down with a broken arm. It's the other thing, too, man. All these injuries are, like, at least a month. Okay, Vargas is ready to come back. He's still going to be injured for a day or two, but I'm going to activate him. Wow, dude. I just sent Bobby Dahlbeck down with Miguel Vargas coming back, and now he gets hurt for 1 to 2 months. I might change those injury sliders back. This is not what I had in mind when I said I wanted to deal with more injuries. I think if we get one more, I'm gonna do it. All right, well, we finally finished out the month of April, and oh my God, even with all the injuries we've been dealing with, we're 22-9. I did not expect the turnaround to be this quick. And it always seems to be at the end of a month when like meaningful progression kicks in. So look at what Samuel Basallo is looking like after 1 month. He shot up to an 85. He skipped 84. +4 to contact both ways after a month, and +3 and 2 to power. Makes sense. He's batting .370 with 13 bombs. This also feels kind of big. Garrett Mitchell's potential went up to a B. And I mean, obviously he's playing really good so far this year, but also that potential going up. Like, he's still young enough that he can realize a B potential. Okay, another thing to potentially keep our eyes on, Danny Coulomb here. Massive regression at 36 years old. That probably doesn't help that he's been playing not so great. 7.71 ERA in 14 innings. Honestly, none of our lefties are Ellard, for some reason, he's going down slightly. His numbers, I guess, aren't that bad, but then Jared Koenig doesn't look all that great. Soto's really the only lefty who's looking like really good, it seems like. Okay, and again, I don't know why I'm looking at 1 month performances of relief pitchers at this point. The goal of today's episode, get through the season. Come on, man. All right, man. Well, this dude that we just happened to discover, fully scouted, we have ranked first overall. All right, the injuries have quieted down. We're also coming back down to earth a little bit. We just got swept by the Reds, and we had a 3-3 week the week before that. But we're playing the Cubs now, so I wanted to make sure I butt back in for that. The Cubs are 14-31. So let's see what we can do against them. Unfortunately, we're coming in cold though, coming off a 14-1 loss to get swept. Hyro in game 1 though. Oh, we lose again. Did I see 14-1 again? No, 4-1. Okay, let's turn this around. Okay, we do beat the Cubs 6-4 in game 2. Drew Thorpe, another win under his belt. The deciding game of the series, we lose. Man, all right, we're cooling off. We're definitely cooling off here. All right, we've got this game against the Astros to finish the month of May, even though we're on the June tab here. We lost, but Kyle Teel is back. Nico Hoerner's getting brought into the division. But yeah, we definitely continued coming back down to earth. We're down to 33-26, which is still a good record. It's just we're on the wrong trajectory here, and we just got swept by the Astros to finish the month. But getting Kyle Teel back is going to be big. I think we're also like right on the verge of getting 1 day until Nick Gordon is done on the injured list, and then technically that'd be all of our big leaguers back. Man, and a couple of things I just happened to notice getting things back on the rails here. But Andrew Benintendi has gone up to a B potential at 31 years old, for whatever that's worth. I guess he's been doing really good. Feeling like a guy worth the money. worth the biggest contract in White Sox history. I don't think we beat that. I don't think we offered anybody more than $75 million total in this last offseason. But the bad thing I realized is Braden Montgomery is down to a C potential now, and that might change a lot. I mean, who knows? Because we saw Garrett Mitchell play well after having gone down to a C potential last year, and now he's back up to a B potential. But at least Boone O'Rourke is looking good. I mean, he's going up. He's still a B potential. We know he's like a solid 86 B potential too from the draft. So like, if he kind of just replaces what we planned for Braden Montgomery to be, that might just kind of be how it is. Also, Ryan McMahon has been really bad. Really, the only thing he's supplied is power against righties, but he's batting 169, only a 286 OBP. He's got a negative WAR. He's still, I mean, he's got to be doing all right in the field for that WAR to only be negative 0.2. For now, I'm keeping him starting against righties just because of that power. He's even gained 5. But I did bench him against lefties, and we did some stuff here. I actually have Teal now starting in left against lefties, so he's going to be an everyday guy. He's just going to be only catching when there's a righty on the mound, and I'm keeping Caro catching so that I don't have to have Benintendi in the field. But yeah, I don't know. Moving into June now, I don't want to make any decisions yet in terms of if we're going to be buyers, sellers, nothing at the deadline. So I guess June is going to just kind of be seeing where we stack up by the end of this month with the team we have. Well, and that was the other thing too. Now with everybody back, it's so weird, but now I can't send down Ildemaro Vargas because he has at least 5 years of service time, so he must consent to being optioned to the minors. But he hasn't been good for me. He's also not really kept himself from regressing. I am going to DFA him, like that little pop-up said. I think that'll be good, because if somebody claims him, then we're not on the hook for paying him 4.4 mil for the rest of this year and next year. And then if nobody claims him, then we just get to send him down. But we're also going to free up a 40-man spot, so I'll DFA him, and then I think from there you can outright. So we'll be outrighting him to AAA, and if he clears the waivers, then we get to keep him. He'll be in AAA. I don't know what I want to happen, to be honest. But let's go here. Let's start this next month. Let's get back on track. With Drew Thorpe on the mound, we do 2-1 win. All right, yeah, he did pass through waivers, so we're still on the hook for paying him. He's in the system now. All right, well, we've got another Cubs series here, so I should butt back in because this is always the big one. They're still struggling, 25-41. We did lose our last series against them, though, so we need redemption here. We won game 1, good. Brings us even on the season series. Game 2, Austin Hayes is hurt. Okay, he's actually been really good, but he's fine. He's just not going to be able to play the series finale, which we won game 2. So the worst we can do with the season series against the Cubs is tie. But let's not do that, Bowden Francis. Let's get me the win here. Okay. 4-0. See, and this is where I say the CPU roster management is just dumb. It's just straight up dumb because Hayes was gone, or he was hurt. Then I auto-utilized him to put him back in. This is what the game decided to do. It decided to put Hayes in for Nick Gordon, and then somehow Lenine Sosa ends up in right field, even though he can't play right field. Also, Ryan McMahon's numbers are coming up a little bit here after I benched him against lefties. Went from like a 169 average now to a 190. On base is up over 300 now. Maybe that's just what he needed to be, was a platoon bat. He's still got negative WAR though. All right, and we finish up June and we're still regressing. We haven't fallen off the table. We still have a winning record, 43-41. But yeah, we've been slowly but steadily declining now until we're almost to 500. We're still only 3.5 out of the division. The problem is our division's crazy. Like I knew it was going to be with all the additions that so many of these teams made in the offseason. The entire division is at least at a 500 record right now at the end of June. So I don't know. I think at the deadline, I might not be either buyers or sellers. We might just kind of like stick with what we've got and let it develop, because we do still have a lot of really good building blocks that are young, both on the team right now and coming up through the system. Like Boone O'Rourke is incredible. He's up to a 76. He's got 14 homers. He's batting .315 with an almost 1,000 OPS. Hagen Smith now is up to an 80 overall. Noah Schultz is up to a 78. Cannon even is up to a 78. He's been doing really good in AAA. I might actually bring him up because our pitching rotation is actually doing really good, but Mike Vassal's the one that's struggling. He actually must have had a decent start last time out. Yeah, because just before this start, I was situating things and I saw his ERA was up over 5. All right, I took a little bit of a break there and I didn't realize I'd been at this for over 2 hours already. I'll be interested to see how I edit this down because I really don't want these next few episodes where I'm simming seasons to like really drag on, and I don't want to be sitting here for 3 to 4 hours doing it, especially since next episode will be also adding in having to do an off season. But anyways, here to start the month of July, I'm going to be making a couple of moves here. I am going to replace Mike Vassell in the rotation. I'm going to move him back to his long relief role that he was good in last year, and I'm actually going to send Shane Smith down. I'll be bringing Cannon up in his place. Cannon's been doing really good in AAA, so hopefully Cannon found something that he didn't have last year because he struggled in 2 stints with us last year, but he's like I said, he was pitching really well in AAA this year. And also hopefully Mike Vassell finds what he had found last year in his long relief role now that he's back there. I think I'm also going to make a trade here where essentially the Rays are fine with taking on Danny Coulomb and the rest of his money, so they're essentially going to be buying a pitching prospect, and that pitching prospect is going to be Kyle Carr. But what I'm going to be able to get from this, and I'm not just interested in him because he's another Montgomery, it'd be the 4th in the organization, but he's only 25, he's a 77 overall, he's only got a year of service time, a little over a year, so he's got plenty of team control left, and I guess the logic would be they think they could turn Kyle Carr into something, so we're going to go ahead and complete this move. And there we go. So really all that did for the big league squad here is we upgraded from Danny Coulomb at a 72 to now Mason Montgomery at a 77, and we get to hold on to Mason Montgomery for years. And then the one other thing that opens up is a spot for the #1 prospect in baseball to get promoted to AA, Chad Powell. But all right, excitement out of the way, back to business. I'll probably see you for the draft because that'll be soon. Wow, okay, hang on. Right before the draft was about to start, the Pirates traded away Connor Griffin for George Curran, a little prospect swap. How does this make sense? I mean, just looking on the surface level, they are both the same overall, but Connor Griffin's got his A potential, George Curran's only got a B. What are we doing? Also, the Pirates had promoted Connor Griffin. He played in 5 games, was batting .357, and they ship him off. Could you imagine if that happened in real life? If the #1 prospect, I know he wasn't the #1 in this universe, but in real life, he's the #1 prospect. Could you imagine? They call him up at 19. All the fans are excited. He's got off to a really good start in his first 5 career big league games, and then they ship him off. They just get rid of him. All right, but yeah, we are locked into doing the draft. I kind of forgot that it was like the day before the games stop for the All-Star break, so it's time to draft. And we have the #2 pick, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do because Edmundo Almanzar here, consensus ranked 2, we have him ranked 3rd. This would not be a wrong decision to draft him. Same with this Cosmo Valencia. He's consensus ranked 1, we have him ranked 6th. But then we have the 2 guys we discovered, Gustavo Castilla, and he is unranked overall, but we have him ranked 1 up to 100% scouting. And Brian Ha, another discovery, another unranked guy, but we have 2. So I don't know. Our second pick is like 37th overall, I think it was. And I would hope that both these guys, or at least one of them, would make it to that point because they're not ranked overall. I would think they would drop that far, but obviously these pitchers wouldn't be. So I guess my thinking is I could either take a pitcher and take probably one of these 2 guys, or I could take both of these 2 guys, especially this Castilla guy. 62 to 77 starting overall as an 18-year-old. He's also going to have probably a mid to high B potential, maybe even low A. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm probably going to end up taking Gustavo. The only thing is he doesn't look to be like he's a good fielder. He's fast. He's going to be really quick. I'm probably going to go Gustavo pick 1, and then Ha will probably still be their pick 2. Like I was just saying, I feel like I was just saying, at least, who knows, maybe I cut it out. But we've got plenty of young pitching in the organization. You know, like Cannon, Thorpe, Pyro, they're all up there right now. They're all doing, well, Cannon just got there, but he had a good first start. We still have Hagen Smith. We still have Noah Schultz. I think that's going to be the play. I think assuming the Blue Jays at pick #1 don't also know about Gustavo and end up taking him, we're going to take him. You got to imagine though, like Kind of like how I was saying, imagine the Connor Griffin trade. Imagine this happening in real life. Like, that's almost a worry for me as a White Sox fan. They've got the #1 overall pick in real life, and we're all like, oh, you know, Rock. He's going to get taken. Who's that other guy? Justin LeBron. Now, those are the guys we know about. Could you imagine the Sox go up there, pick #1, they draft somebody no one knows about? He's not even ranked in the top 200, but we're like, no. We know we're essentially about to do that. So in universe, we're going to get so much hate for the pick that I'm about to make at #2 in the draft. But based on all the information I have, it really does seem like the best pick. So let's get things started here. See what the Blue Jays end up doing. Their #1 overall pick, they're going with nobody that I had. So we would have the option between those two pitchers if I was going to go with one of those two pitchers, but I do think I have my mind made up on Gustavo. I don't know. Anyway, we're just going to lock this in. Gustavo Castilla, get ready for the firestorm on Twitter. Everyone being like, who? What are they doing? Throwing your future away. Edmundo was right there for you and you went with this guy. But I know better. I know better than everybody else. Gustavo Castilla, he's going to have a hard life as a prospect. Everyone's going to hate him, but he's going to come up and prove them all wrong. Yep, and Edmundo then gets picked #3. So we're going to have to live with that if he ends up being a star. You know, I was also just thinking too, everything I said about what Twitter would be saying about our Gustavo pick, White Sox fans would probably be sitting there like for round 2. There'd probably be still some people around there that are known about, and they'd be like, all right, well, at least for round 2, we got to pick a guy that's at least somewhat established. And then we're going to come out and pick another guy that nobody has any idea about. All right, you just got to survive one more. Rockies did not take him. Good. All right. So, I mean, for what we know and what we trust our scouts to tell us, we're going to be getting the #1 and the #2 players in this draft. But let's go for it. First pick of the second round, our second pick in the 2026 MLB draft, Brian Ha. All right, we're on the verge of our next pick here, and I don't know what I want to do. Because the guy I have at the top of the list right now is another non-ranked guy, another guy that we have ranked pretty high, and I'm on the clock now. I've only got a minute. We didn't get him fully to 100%. He's only at 62%, but what we know, his potential is at least going to be an 80. He's fast, solid fielding, the hitting, But this guy we know nothing about. We only had him 10% scouted. However, we know his potential is at least going to be a 75, and it should have a good chance of being in the 80s. We also know his stamina is going to be good. It's at least an 82. His velo is also good. I think I want to take Joe Wyatt because I've already taken 2 corner outfielders. And remember, the original plan was to get a starter. I think I'm going to do this. We're going to draft this one blindly. Joe Wyatt. We'll see. Another reason I went for that, though, is because there is a chance that Eric Chavez, that's a guy, right? A's? Anyway, there is a chance that he could still be there for our next pick, too, since he wasn't ranked. All right, we are on the clock, and Eric Chavez is still there, so I think the move is just to go ahead and take him. I mean, if our scouts are right, and he could be the #28 ranked guy, and we know his potential is at least an 80. So yeah, that's the move. Eric Chavez, another corner outfielder. All right, well, I'm going to take a flyer again here on a shortstop. I could go with this dude that I know I have 100% scouted. He'd be like solid. He'd be like a fringe bench utility type guy, but I'm going to go with this shortstop, Darryl Leon, another unranked guy. We only have him 20% scouted. We don't know anything about him. We at least know he's a switch hitter with a potential that's at least going to be a C. So we'll see. And then I am actually gonna skip to my next pick, skip to my last pick here, and hopefully I don't have to scramble for something here. And I have to scramble for something. The guys I had are off the board. Awesome. That's just so fun when that happens. All right, well, I was gonna take a center fielder who I didn't have scouted all the way, was unranked, was fast, and we had him ranked. So this guy could also kind of be that. Garth Trevino. A lot of outfielders in this draft. So we'll see. We'll see if that was a good draft. I feel like we won't know until it's time to see those overalls and potentials. Okay, we don't have anybody in the home run derby, which is actually a little surprising with how much power Samuel Basallo had to start the year. He doesn't end up as a top 8 home run guy. All right, well, let's skip past that. See who our all-stars are. Hopefully we have more than one. No Drew Thorpe. Trevor Steffen's there in the bullpen. Samuel Basallo is not a starter. Edgar Caro made it? Okay, that's odd. And Basallo made it. Edgar Caro, though. only 36 games, 123 at bats. I mean, yeah, he's been he's been good in that time. He's been very good in that time, but all-star worthy? All right, well, I imagine we're going to have a lot of players in this futures game. I already saw that Chad Powell's the starter. I guess it just goes by like prospect rank or something, and him being the #1 ranked prospect means he starts the futures game. Noah Schultz is also here though. On the hitting side, Boone O'Rourke's in it. He's up to a 77, dude. Jack Diaz is also here. I kind of forgot about him, but yeah, he because of his potential, they gave him a high prospect ranking. He's only 54 overall though, and that's all I recognize. So 2 pitchers, 2 hitters. We're up to 24th ranked, and that's pretty much just due to our guys' overalls progressing and stuff. I will probably look into some trades like right before the deadline because we're still kind of in that limbo spot. So maybe in another couple weeks we'll get a little bit more of a sense of what we could need, and I got to make sure I sign those picks. So I'll probably see you guys right when the deadline's about to come up. All right, well, coming up on the end of the month, coming up on the deadline, we did rattle off a bunch of wins in a row, 6 in a row, but then we lost 6 of our last 7. So at first I was like, oh man, all right, spark lit under us in the second half, but then we kind of balanced out. So we're not really in a different position than we were before. In terms of the standings, we're 4th in our division, but only 4 games back. We're a game back of the wild card. But if we're talking about like making deadline moves to put us over the hump, I don't see where we do that. I'll give one last look. The only thing I could really see is if we could end up getting some sort of big name starting pitcher. All right, yeah, I think I found a move that I can't resist. That move is with the Milwaukee Brewers, who are sort of in contention. They're 7 back of the division, and they are a half game back of the wild card right now. But I don't think this move doesn't make sense from their perspective of being in contention. And that move is to try and get Freddie Peralta. It's the last year of his contract. He's only getting paid $3.3 million somehow. 83 overall. He's got a 3.55 ERA this season. And to get him, I'll be giving up who I'd be replacing in the rotation anyway, and that's Bowden Francis. He's having a solid year. I mean, a 3.85 ERA isn't bad. He's also got 3 more years of team control. Now, obviously, we can't do this straight up, but there's a throw in here that I think makes a lot of sense for them too. They're looking for a third baseman. We can give them BJ Murray. He's also having a pretty impressive power season in AA. 21 homers, 508 slug as a switch hitter. He's got +6, +8 to his power both ways. He could be somebody. But yeah, I think going into a potential playoff race, obviously you're looking for pitching. You want like at least a 1-2 punch. So I like this move. It makes sense. Obviously, Peralta's a rental guy. Bowden Francis probably would have been the odd one out next year anyway. Hagen Smith would be ready to come up. Schultz is pretty much ready. So this is a trade that makes sense to me on every single way you can look at it for both sides, to be completely honest. So I am going to finalize this, and we're going to add Freddie Peralta at the deadline. Not bad. So there's what we're looking like right now. This is what the rotation's looking like. Castillo, Cannon, Peralta, Iriarte, and Thorpe. But all right, let's just sim these last couple days, sim past the deadline. That's the only move I felt like I needed to make. And then we should be able to see our draft results. All right, time to view the draft picks. I'm probably not going to do this as climactically as I did year 1, but let's see. Gustavo's a 93 potential with a 75 starting overall. I think we made a good choice. That's worthy of the #2 overall pick. How about Brian Ha? 69 starting overall with 86 potential. Now let's see about Joe Wyatt, the real shot in the dark. He's only got 79 potential, 86 stamina. We knew the stamina would be good. The Ks per 9 is really rough. Yeah, this one's looking like a miss. We hit so good on the first 2 that we could have spared that. How about this third one though? Because I see 89 potential here. Starting overall, 61. That's okay. That's fine. That's not bad. These last 2 guys, I see a couple 82 potentials. So it's down to what the starting overall is. Daryl Leone, 61 overall himself. All right. That's a solid pick then. I'll take that. And then the last one, Garth Trevino, 82 potential, 51 starting overall. All right. I didn't expect much from him. Another high speed guy. We did add a lot of speed in this draft. All right. But we've got nothing in our way from now until the end of the season. So honestly, I might just check in at the end of this month. We'll see where we are at. Grant Taylor's done for the year. Guess it didn't take a month to get there. We've also lost now 4 straight games to start August. Right after we made a trade to put ourselves in the race. We're falling out of the race. Ah, that's a big injury. Uh-oh. Gregory Soto out for 1 to 2 months. Another broken arm. We also still haven't had a good month Man, started out really slow, kind of got some back, but we're falling now at 62 and 61's the record, and we just lost a big lefty out of the bullpen. And you know what? Looking at it, I think we're going to give that opportunity to Logan Evans. He's gotten himself up to a 74 overall. He has a 2.71 ERA. So big moment, Logan Evans on the big league team. All right, and technically we're on the September tab. We got 2 more days to close out August though. And we're still, I mean, we are just, feels like we're losing a couple games in a row, then winning a couple games in a row, hovering right above this 500 mark. Let's sim through these last 2 days of the month. All right, at least we finished the month strong. Actually, a 5-game winning streak to end the month. So where does that put us? A game and a half back of the division, and it looks like tied for that 3rd wild card spot. Wow, we are right in the mix for everything. We got 1 month to go, 1 more month to push, and we can probably make some September call-ups, right? Bring a couple guys up. Will that help? I mean, honestly, Cannon's starting to fall again, 5.81 ERA, and his potential's gone down to a C. Is it time to replace him in the rotation with Hagen Smith? He's up to an 80. I mean, Schultz is right there too at a 79. But I think between the ratings and the season that Hagen Smith is finally putting together, if it's one of the two, it's probably going to be Hagen. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Hagen Smith is ready. We're calling him up. We're adding him to the 40-man, and he's going to slot right into the rotation. We need that 80 overall to mean something. Needs to have a Trey Savage run. I think I'm going to do it too. This one doesn't feel as big as Hagen Smith just because, you know, the progression stalled for Braden Montgomery, but I think it's finally time. We're going to call it Braden Montgomery. He's not going to be in as much of a featured role. We also got to add him to the 40-man, but I mean, this is like our highest overall minor league position player. So if anybody could help, you'd think it'd be him. He'll start against lefties, and we'll see if he does good. I don't know who it would be, but he might replace somebody going into the postseason if we can make it. Onwards to the end of the year. Dude, another win. How many is that in a row we've won? We've got ourselves tied for the Central, and then we get swept in 4 games against the Yankees. We are just so streaky. We're too streaky. And we're last now in the so we go from either being in the lead or tied for the lead in the Central to now we're in the last spot. We are in last place in the Central. And I didn't even realize it, but look at this stretch we have. We play everybody. We got 4 against Detroit, 3 against Minnesota, 3 against Cleveland, 3 against KC, 3 more against Cleveland, and then Seattle, who I think, did they win the World Series last season? So we have nothing but above 500 teams remaining. This is going to be quite the run. All right, won the series 3-1 against Detroit. That's big. Still 2 games back of the division, though. And Minnesota's the only team behind us, so we got to stay out in front of them. So we lose game 1 and game 2. At least we won game 3. We're now second in the division, though, but we're all falling behind of Cleveland, 4 games back, and that's who we play next. We have to sweep them. We're also tied with the Tigers right now for that last wild card spot. Oh my God. Gotta take down Cleveland. We got 6 more games against them this season. Game 1 is a win. Game 2 is a win. So we already won the first series. Game 3, we also win. We got the sweep. That is so huge. So now we're just a game back of the division. We're firmly in the wild card 3 spot. Braden Montgomery's terrible. 3 against KC now, and they're last in the division right now. 5 back. Stay hot. Stay hot. Nice. Win game 1. Win game 2. Okay, we lost game 3. We also, our AAA team didn't make the AAA postseason. What? But I thought it was good. AA team didn't either. What's going on? Oh my God, and look at this. We are back tied with Cleveland, 82 and 74 each. We also both have the same amount of runs scored. We only have a +4 run differential on this season, but tied for the division lead with a series against each other, and then a series against the 85 and 71 Mariners for me. Who do they play next? They play Baltimore. The inverse record of what the Mariners are right now. Of course they do. We gotta take the series. We gotta sweep the series again. I haven't even been looking at Hagen Smith, but I see he's starting this game and he has a 3.57 ERA, so he's doing all right. How does he do in this one though? Not too good. Gregory Soto is back. Really? That seemed like I was too fast. We have to have these next 2 though to win the series. We take the next one. Okay, that's big. We're tied again. Tiebreaker, we lose it. No. Oh, no. Okay, I've been so focused on the division, though. Where are we in the wild card? We're still in the third wild card spot. We pretty much have that locked up. So unless something goes terribly wrong, I think we have to lose all 3 games, and the Tigers or Twins have to win the rest of their games. We will have made the postseason right away in year 2. Question is, can we clutch up and take the division? Orioles also need to clutch up for me. Game 1 against Seattle, we lose that one. Still a game back, though, so Cleveland also lost, so it's still possible. And okay, now it's not, probably. Well, no, I mean, technically, Cleveland also lost. I don't know. We've clinched a postseason appearance. Apparently, they haven't clinched the division, so we must have the tiebreaker on them. So we need to win. We need Cleveland to lose again, and we could take the division, and we have Hagen Smith on the mound to do it. Let's see. We lost, of course. But we made the playoffs in year 2, which again is kind of another thing that almost makes me upset, because I think all the way back when I started this franchise, I said that was kind of the goal. I felt like this team wasn't as far away as it seemed to be, and I felt like I could turn it around by the second year, and we've done it. I mean, 83-79 is not some great record by any means. I think we also had a negative run differential, but we put together a team that was clutch enough to win enough games to make the postseason, and now I'm sitting here probably almost 5 hours into the recording, which is ridiculous. That is not how this was supposed to go, and we still have the postseason to go. To be honest, what I might do, I might play at least the wild card series on my own and show some highlights, but like, I'm kind of itching to play with this team, so that might be the move. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut off this recording right now, because I'm gonna want to look at things, make sure I set the postseason roster how I want it to be. And here we go, postseason baseball for the Chicago White Sox. The first playoff action since 2021, and we got to go on the road against the division rival Cleveland Guardians. And since this is the wild card series, we have to win the series in order to get some home playoff games. It will be Luis Castillo getting the start here in game 1 for us, and he actually finished runner-up to the Cy Young Award somehow. And we're taking on Tanner Bybee, who doesn't look like he had the best season, really. 4.75 ERA. That didn't really seem to matter, though, because he gave me plenty of trouble. He struck out the first 4 batters that I sent up to the plate. And then after a scoreless first 2 innings, in the bottom of the second, Luis Castillo has a runner on with the 9-hole hitter up, and that 9-hole hitter goes deep. An early 2-0 deficit here in the second inning from the most unlikely source. Now skipping ahead to the 4th inning, it's still a 2-0 game, but Kyle Manzardo is going to get a leadoff base hit, and then Bo Naylor follows it up with what looks like another base hit, but it's actually going to get all the way to the wall. Hayes misplays it a little bit off the wall, and then I might have made a mistake because we got it into Montgomery. Probably had a play at home, but Naylor going to third was so visibly out that I ended up throwing it to third. We got him out, but that run does come around to score. We wouldn't pick up our first hit of the game until the 5th inning, where Ryan McMahon finally gets one through. Benintendi then follows that with a base hit of his own, so 2 on, nobody out, but we weren't able to do anything with that. Kyle Teal lines out with 2 outs. It looked promising off the bat, but we're still held scoreless now through 5 innings, down 3. Jumping all the way ahead now to the 8th, we're still scoreless, still losing 3-0, but Colson Montgomery hits a leadoff single against Cade Smith, and then with 1 out, Kyle Teal is gonna take him deep. Finally some life from our bats. Finally some runs coming across to score, bringing this one back within 1. Gregory Soto's then able to strand a runner on third to keep the score at 3-2 heading into the 9th inning. And of course, in this universe, Emmanuel Clase wasn't taking any bribes, so he's coming out, and that's who we have to deal with down 1 in the 9th inning, needing to score. And Samuel Basayo gets things started by grounding out. Garrett Mitchell up next, can't handle the high and in slider, but then with 2 outs, we're bringing Edgar Caro in to pinch hit, because earlier in the game we brought Lenine Sosa in to pinch hit for Ryan McMahon against a lefty, and Caro actually gets a hold of a hanging slider, hits it to the opposite field, it gets off the wall. We've got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs to try and tie up this game. I brought in Miguel Vargas for a little bit more speed, base hit should score him, and with 2 strikes on him, Benintendi chases a cutter in on the hands. Long way to go for the center fielder, but he does just barely get there in time. I really thought that was going to drop in and tie up this ball game, but we fall 3-2 in game 1 to the Cleveland Guardians, which means we're gonna have to win the next 2 in a row in order to advance. I only ended up playing that one game on my own, so we're gonna leave it in the hands of the simulation to see if we can win. We have to win the next 2 to advance to the next round. Not in a good spot, but we've got Freddie Peralta who's going to be taking the mound. I am actually going to go in and manage though. I'm not just going to hit triangle on the simulate. And actually I'm going to do this where I load into the full game and then manage from there in case we want to hop in and watch any specific moments. But it's Shane Bieber on the mound we got to deal with. All right, I think I want to fast forward instead of manage, but I think I want to fast forward like at bat by at bat. So if I do want to hop in and make a decision, I can. So let's get going. Mydroth, you got to do something at the leadoff guy. Sammy B got on from an error though, a strikeout, a base hit. We've got 2 on. We're scoring in the first. We're alive. Okay, but Montgomery gets out. We got a 1-0 lead in the first. Oh, and now we gave up a single and an error. Peralta, you got to get out of it. He does. All right, 1-0 after 1. Back-to-back singles from the bottom of the order here in the second inning. Strikeout to the 9-hole hitter. Walk. We're still... Okay, another walk isn't going to do it. Peralta. Another... You walked a... 2 walks with the bases loaded. Playing from behind now. We've got a walk to start out. Another base hit from Ryan McMahon. And another walk. We got the bases loaded. Grand slam, Colson. Nope, not Colson Montgomery. Austin Hayes. Peralta, you want to get back on form? No, he does not. Giving up another run here. Do I take him out? Okay, well, we got out of the inning. Probably have him start the next inning at least. Nothing going in our 4th inning. Peralta's still out there. Man, he just can't get through a clean inning. And we can't stop anybody from stealing. And a 2-run homer from Quan. All right, I should have taken him out. I'm taking him out now. Get Mike Vassell in there. Maybe he can give me a little bit of length, hopefully. And, I mean, he himself should be good, hopefully. Gives up a hit to J-Ram, though, fresh into the game. Nothing doing, though. 5-5 after 4. Thought that grand slam was going to be big for us. Nothing going in the 5th. Vassell, give me a clean 5th inning. He does. All right, finally a clean inning. They're making a pitching change. Kyle Teal greets him with a double. Drive him in, Nick Gordon. And then, okay, a double play to end the inning. At least we took the lead back. Vassell's still out there. I'm going to leave him in if he's looking good. That's 2 straight 1, 2, 3 innings. And we go down 1, 2, 3 in our 7th. Bottom 7 here. Quan hit the homer. Oh, the game took out Vassell. All right. Top 8, only a 1-run lead. We need some insurance. They're making a pitching change. Bringing in the lefty to face Montgomery. Hayes can't do anything. Teal lefty grounds out. Bringing in Hunter Harvey. Strikeout. Strikeout. Pop out. They're bringing in Cade Smith. Insurance would be huge. Nick Gordon with the double. Mydroth flies out. That doesn't help. Messiah with the walk doesn't help yet. Error. Another error. Bases loaded here for McMahon. Base hit. That drives in 2. We got a 3-run lead. That's the insurance we needed. And we're eating further into that bullpen. Benintendi flies out. Montgomery flies out. We got 3 outs. Trevor Stephan in to get 3 outs before giving up 3 runs. Ground out. Base hit. It's tense. How huge were those 2 runs of insurance? But we still need 2 outs here. Strikeout. Pitching change. Ellard walks J-Ram. And we get Manzardo out. All right. Nail biter. 8-7 win, but we're not going down without a fight. Just barely squeaked into the playoffs like this. Team probably outperforming what we should have done. But unlike the real-life Reds this last year, we're actually getting a win in the playoffs. We're not going home completely empty-handed yet. Every other wildcard series has been decided now besides us. Guess I haven't even really looked at this bracket yet, but winner would go on to face the Astros. So let's see. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to go in and kind of manage, kind of fast forward at bat by at bat. And it's going to be Drew Thorpe we're giving the ball to. He was definitely our best pitcher for the majority of the season, but then in like the back half, back third of the season, the numbers slipped a little bit, but I'm still trusting him. Look at that, actually. Top 3 in our batting order. Don't have a hit yet. All right, let's do it here. Gavin Williams is the opponent today. Let's get into the simulating here. Are we going to get a hit from anybody in the top 3 of our order? Not yet, but another error, dude. This Cleveland team stinks at defense. No capitalizing on it, though, this time. Drew Thorpe on the mound. What can you do for me? Strikeout, fly out, base hit. We've had, I feel like, so many innings where we get 2 outs and then give up a base runner. Okay, but we got out of it. You don't want to be putting anybody on for Jose Ramirez. Second inning, nothing going. Down 1, 2, 3. Drew Thorpe. Do the same thing for me. He does. All right, little pitcher's duel brewing, maybe? Maybe, because, yeah, that's another 1, 2, 3. Hit by pitch, though. Don't want to be doing that, Drew. No free base runners. Why are you giving up 2 free base runners? Strikeout, fly out. All good. Top 4 already. We got a base hit from Garrett Mitchell. First hit of the game. First hit from somebody in the top 3 of the order. Hit by pitch from Benintendi. Strikeout, though, to end it. 1 hit apiece. Okay, well, J-Ram. Second hit for them. Fly out, though. Drew Thorpe, you going to get out of it? He gets out of it. 3 straight flyouts. Thorpe still going strong, though. Walks the last, or I guess he's not the last batter of the 5th inning. If he got walked and another batter's coming up, he gets the next one, though. Drew Thorpe's definitely risen to the occasion. The offense just isn't helping him. Another hit for Garrett Mitchell. Fly out can't advance him, and double play ends the inning. I'm going to let Drew Thorpe stay in the game. Well, J-Ram's coming up now after a leadoff single. Maybe you don't want to let Drew Thorpe stay in the game. Feel like this would be the situation where in real life they'd be scrambling to take the starter out. I'm going to give the ball to Mason Montgomery. Get a lefty in there and then 2 lefties up after J-Ram. He walks J-Ram. Fly out for Manzardo. Strikeout for Naylor. Got to face a righty now. Walks him. I should probably take him out. Now that we got a big righty up, we'll give Maton the ball here. And Maton with the bases loaded. The bases are loaded, right? They're not showing up there anymore. With the bases loaded and 2 outs, he gives up a base hit. That's the first 2 runs of the game. And another base hit to the 9-hole hitter. Strikes out Nolan Jones, though. But we are down 2 with 3 innings left potentially in the season. What does the offense have in store? Gavin Williams still out there. We got to get to him. Nobody can get to him in the 7th. CPU's putting in Gregory Soto, single to Rocchio, strikeout for Quan, get J-Ram fielder's choice, strikeout for Manzardo. Just the offense, man. Mydroth walks, Basayo walks. They're bringing in a lefty for Mitchell. Do I pinch hit here? You know what? I just want to bring our best hitter in for the situation, and I think that's Edgar Caro with 75 clutch, 76 power. And you know what? Let's watch this at bat. Let's see what goes down. Oh, he ripped it, but that's right to him and left. Oh, dude. He was all over that fastball. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to take McMahon out now, too. You know what? I'm actually going to put more faith in the clutch rating than the power rating, so I'm bringing Brooks Baldwin in. 0-2 count. Not looking good. He's worked it back to a 3-2. All right, runners will be on the move. Guarantees that a base hit should score a run. He's battling. This is a long at bat. And he draws a walk. All right. Load him up. Give it to the next guy, which is Benintendi. And I think I leave Benintendi in. Oh, but he swings and misses at the slider low and away. Ah. All right, well, I've made my position changes here. Caro's catching, Teal's in center. Then I also moved Colson to third and put Baldwin at short. He's a better fielder. And CPU's bringing Fraser Ellard in. Gets Bo Naylor, an error, a stolen base, fly out, walk, single, makes the lead even bigger for Cleveland. We gotta score 3. And you know they're gonna be bringing in Emmanuel Clase. Montgomery faces him first, strikes out. Austin Hayes next, flies out. Kyle Teal's the last one up. Let's see if he can do anything. First pitch swinging. It's a grounder to short. And in a 3-0 shutout, White Sox are eliminated by a division rival. But you know what? We battled. We sent it to 3 games. We didn't roll over easy. And on top of it all, we probably massively outperformed what we should have done in year 2. We weren't ready, but we were here. So that then is going to be where we call it for this episode of the White Sox franchise. Next episode, we'll start with the offseason going into year 3 and then simulate the entire 3rd year. I still have no idea how this video is going to go because at this point in total, I've recorded for over 5 hours. We might even be closing in on 6, which cannot happen. I get way too into it and I'm sitting here staring at screens and rambling about nonsense. 95% of it's probably gonna end up getting cut out just to make this video not ridiculous. But anyways, thanks for watching. We still got a couple more episodes of this before 26 comes out, so I will see you next time.